Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Q and Learning, and this is Stock Picks. And today we're going over Upstart's earnings and really where to enter in on them and where to exit. And so right now I'm just going to go over an article about in the Motley Fool about basically the big three ways and why and how Upstart has crushed their last earnings. So one of the biggest things is that their revenue has grown over 1,000%. And so basically since December, the shares are up over 600%, and just showing like how much they've really grown. I mean, 1,000 is just really hard to even picture, but pure numbers wise, last year in Q2 in 2020, they posted revenue of 17 million, right? And this past quarter in 2021, they posted a revenue of 194 million, growth of 1,018%, which is just absolutely just exponential to what they've been doing before and what's just happened now. And on top of that, their revenue in 2019, right, 164 million, 2020, 233 million. So their estimate for 2021 is now 750 million, almost triple of what they did in 2020. And I truly believe Upstart will only keep on basically exponentially growing because they're using technology that is very modern, using AI to basically make these transactions with the loans very quick and very easy. And so on top of that, it's not only them having such a huge growth in revenue, but also the amount of transactions that are right. So in the actual loan originations, so basically how many loans were really happening during this time, you know, we were seeing 12,000 in Q2 of 2020, and now we've seen 287,000, growth of 2,291%. And in terms of just the loan originations, posting 164 million in 2020, now they posted 2.79 billion, over 1,600% in growth, which is just absolutely insane, right? And I think in 2022, their estimates are roughly, I believe, like 5 billion to 6 billion, which is just insane. Um, and the last thing is just, their total profits and how they've just been growing just exponentially. Um, I also expecting from the company to generate 25 cents per share in Q2, but they actually beat these estimates by over 56% and to deliver a 39-cent per share in profit. And so this article was written about a week ago, and so they're talking about how about at Friday's close, Upstart had a market cap of 15.8 billion, trading at 21 times the 2021 forecasted revenue. So this being said, Upstart is definitely not cheap at this point. Right now, if we really look at Upstart stock, we're looking about $200 per share, and today they hit a high of 210. And I do want to say, guys, we made Upstart video on June 27th, I believe, and since then I believe we entered in on them around 119. They did dip around 5%, but ever since then, if you guys would have held, you're talking about around a 70% gain. And hey, if you didn't want to go on it right away, you could have waited to like the 130s even. But even if you waited up to like the 133, you're still talking about around a 50% gain. So congratulations to anyone and everyone who are in on this stock. And I just wanted to show you guys one last thing on their technical trading. And just seriously, guys, congratulations if you guys were in on the stock. And so I really like investing.com because they show a really simple and, almost elegant way of their candlestick charts. Here, one thing that we're trying to teach with candlesticks is that gaps almost always fill, right? So even when Upstart has had these huge runs in the past week or so, going almost 50% plus, you know, these long wicks at like the top and bottom, they're not necessarily good. And, you know, Upstart's trying to go into like this absolutely exponential pattern, but they're not really having any pullback. So this is kind of concerning for me. And as you can see here, you got the 178 to like the roughly like I believe 180 gap and another gap here around the 170 level. And so like I do believe that Upstart true value right now is around 170. They're trading around $200. So I do believe they will hit a little bit of a pullback. Maybe it will be even more, but these gaps will fill no matter what, in my opinion. Within if it's the next month or next 2 months, I believe they will come back down to that 150 level. But again, if we're just going into just more supports, uh, we can see here down after hours roughly, another 3%. with market hitting a slight downturn right now, I wouldn't mind hitting a little bit of pullback just so we can see some more support. If you look at that more interactive chart, as I was saying before, this support that I was talking about here, the 178, the 171, and then this, I believe it was the 164 level. And so I believe these are huge major levels for them. I mean, as you can see here, this 170 level, that was a level that Upstart wasn't able to break through since their IPO at roughly $29. Um, late last year, and they tested that 164, tested it again, the 170, and we're finally able to break through, which is huge. But again, just be careful coming back down to the downside for Upstart. But I mean, other than that, guys, that's basically all I have. Congrats if you're on this play, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Leave any comments and questions down below. Peace.